I'm Emily Knox. I'm an assistant professor here at GSLIS. I basically study banned books. I study people who attempt to remove books from libraries. My research focuses on basically the discourse that's used to argue for the removal of books. I'm really interested in looking at intersections of knowledge, information, society, power. How do people understand the process of reading? Why does it matter what people read? So those are really the main things that a lot of my research looks at. What really inspired me is my mother. She was a high school librarian for a very long time. She just recently retired, and she got me interested in banned books when I was about 8 or so. And every year she would bring me something for Banned Books Week, and I would read all the literature, and I'd get very upset that people were trying to ban books that I liked. So she's really the one who inspired me to get into the research that I do now. One thing I'm really interested in is how people cope with changing norms, changing ideas of what we should know, what other people shouldn't know. I'm sort of looking at what used to be called the culture wars, and we're kind of in a slowdown of the culture wars according to some people, and I'm trying to understand how people are coping with the changes that are happening in society, which are very, very rapid. Like if we look at how society was, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, life is very different. And I think that one of the ways people deal with this is by controlling what they can control, which is, in some ways, the books that are in their local library, right? Their local public library, the local school library, what their children learn. So you can really see what upsets people by looking at the books that they are challenging. I'm really trying to get more people interested in studying intellectual freedom. I think it's a good way of thinking about what I mentioned before with issues of knowledge and power. How do you decide what some people should know? And how do we deal with information? I mean, it also goes into these issues of privacy that come up a lot, and that we're really on the forefront of studying in LIS. So I'm kind of trying to push the boundaries of how we understand what LIS research is.